The NBA has seen few personalities like Charles Barkley. His sense of humor on the Inside the NBA show has made Chuck a household name amongst NBA fans, but his playing career is often overlooked, which is a mistake because Sir Charles is one of the best power forwards in NBA history. Let's take a look at how good Charles Barkley was actually. But before we get started, please like the video if you enjoy it and subscribe to the channel for new videos like this one every week. Charles Barkley was a fan favorite during his playing days in the NBA. Now, what made Charles so likable was that he was just 6'6", making him undersized at the power forward position. Despite often being smaller than his matchup, Charles was a dominant force in the paint with career averages of 22 points and almost 12 rebounds per game. Before his time in the NBA, Barkley played 3 seasons of college basketball at Auburn University. Barkley was a standout player in college, leading the SEC in rebounding each year. Barkley struggled with his weight for much of his time at Auburn University and would balloon up to around 300 pounds in his senior year. Despite his size, he would often excite the fans with his dunks and shot blocking ability, and he earned himself the nickname the round mound of rebound. Barkley averaged 14.8 points per game on 68% field goal shooting for the Auburn Tigers and would lead them to their first NCAA tournament in school history. Unfortunately, the Tigers were eliminated in the first round against Richmond, and Barkley declared for the 1984 NBA draft. The Philadelphia 76ers drafted Charles 5th overall in the 1984 NBA draft. The Sixers had several established NBA stars on their roster, including Julius Erving, Moses Malone, and Maurice Cheeks. These players took Charles under their wing and helped him get his weight and conditioning under control. Once Barkley got his weight in check, he would take over as the team's star player and became their starting power forward in just his second year in the league. Barkley played 8 seasons for the Philadelphia 76ers, and his stats were truly amazing. Barkley averaged 23 points per game on 58% shooting from the field. Unfortunately, playoff success eluded Barkley during his time with the Sixers. When Philadelphia finally put a better supporting cast around Barkley, they had to face Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Sixers were defeated twice by the Bulls in consecutive years. After the second defeat, Barkley demanded a trade and ended up with the Phoenix Suns. Barkley's exceptional play continued during his time in Phoenix. In his first year with the team, he averaged 26 points, 12 rebounds, and a career-high 5 assists per game. Barkley led the Suns to an NBA best 62-20 record and won the NBA's Most Valuable Player award. His amazing play continued into the playoffs, where the Phoenix Suns would meet Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in the '93 NBA Finals. Jordan's Bulls got the best of Barkley again, beating the Suns in 6 games. This would become a familiar theme in Barkley's NBA career, where he would come up short against other teams with generational superstars. This is not a knock against Barkley's skill or talent, he just came up against better opponents. Much like many great players of the 2000s era came up short against Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, or more recently LeBron James. The theme continued for Barkley during the following 2 seasons though, as he came up short against Hakeem Olajuwon and the Houston Rockets. Hakeem and the Rockets would go on to become NBA champions on both occasions, so I don't consider this a knock on Barkley's resume. The next season, Barkley became the 10th player in NBA history to reach 20,000 points and 10,000 rebounds in an NBA career. However, the Suns lost in the first round of the playoffs to the San Antonio Spurs. Before the 96-97 season, Barkley was traded to the Houston Rockets, the very team that gave him so much trouble during his time in Phoenix. Barkley's addition to the Houston Rockets made a big 3 alongside Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. But sadly, all 3 players were at the end of their prime years and couldn't quite get over the hump. Barkley quickly became the team's leading scorer, but he averaged less than 20 points per game for the first time since his rookie year in the league. In his first season in Houston, Barkley only played 53 games due to injuries and suspensions. Houston advanced to the Western Conference Finals, but ultimately lost to the Utah Jazz in 6 games. This was the last time that Barkley got close to the NBA Finals for the rest of his career. The last few years of his career were increasingly disrupted by injuries as the Rockets' title window closed for good. During a game against the 76ers, Barkley ruptured the quadriceps tendon in his left leg and he had to be carried off the court. He knew his time was up, but he had one last thing to accomplish: walk off the court on his own terms. He returned for one more time for a home game against the Vancouver Grizzlies. Barkley scored off an offensive rebound and walked off the court to a standing ovation. After the game, Barkley said, "I can't explain what tonight meant. I've won and lost a lot of games, but the last memory I had was being carried off the court. I couldn't get over the mental block of being carried off the court. It was important psychologically to walk off the court on my own." So how good was Charles Barkley? Well, in my opinion, he's definitely a top 20 guy all time. Although Charles Barkley never won an NBA championship, he did things that most basketball players can only dream of. He averaged a double-double throughout his NBA career and was an incredibly talented power forward despite being undersized at the position. He was one of the best rebounders in NBA history and shot 54% from the field for his entire career. And Barkley wasn't just an inside scorer either. He also had a reliable mid-range jump shot and wasn't too shabby from three-point range either. There's one thing for sure though, Barkley is truly a one-of-a-kind athlete and one of the most charismatic people on television. I love that Sir Charles managed to reach such an iconic status simply by always being himself. Thank you for watching today's video. Please like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel for new videos like this one every week.